Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, October 28th. October's almost over. In some ways it feels like it's going by fast, but in other ways it feels like it's been October forever. Which is good, you know. There's been a lot of challenges in the Enchanted Stitching group, so there's almost 5 full weeks of challenges, so maybe that's made it felt longer too, I'm not sure. But it's been fun, it's going well, and I have a lot to share with you. Well, maybe not a lot. It might be a mediumly short video, we'll see. Here comes my kitty. Come on, kitty. Yeah, here she is. Cinnamon's back. Hi. So I shared last week that I had this coming in the mail. This is my Bloomtopia project bag I'm participating in with them. It's their charity stitch along from the Fat Quarter Shop, and it doesn't start until February 1st, 2020, but there's a few of us who will be stitching it ahead of time, and so I have the patterns in here already. I will not be allowing myself to start it until January 1st because of my personal No Starts 2019 challenge, but the parts are small enough. Sorry, she's punky. No, that's not helping people. Stop. The parts are small enough that I'm confident I can get it done in time, even starting it after the 1st. So, however, I can pick my fabric and threads now, and so I thought what would be fun to do, not today, probably, I don't have time, but this information is on their blog page that they've already put up, so I can share that with you. This is the mock-up of the design, not mock-up, it's a model stitch that's already been stitched, and Priscilla and Chelsea finished it in the frame with the little nest. I think the design is based on their quilt along pattern for this year, which they've been doing for about 7 years now. So it's the first time they've done it stitch along with cross stitch. But this pattern is, I guess, based on the quilt for this year. So I have decided to change everything. Not significantly so, but just make it my own. They call for like a light gray fabric and a variety of either DMCs or their house brand of RE floss, which looks a little bit like Sulky. It's on little bobbins, spools. And what I thought would be fun, this is a perfect pattern to just kit up with all the fancy floss that I've been collecting with Victorian Motto and Color and Cotton and a variety of other ones that I have. So that's what I'm going to do. So I thought in the near future, hopefully not too far from now, I'm planning to have a color convert with me video where I'll show you. I'm going to pull their floss DMCs because I have my master set, so I'll just pull the ones they recommend. I'll pull all the fabrics that I have that I could use for this, and then start playing and see what we come up with. So I'm going to do that. I have no preconceived mental image of the color scheme that I want to go for, so it might be kind of in the moment and fluid. But I'll do that and see what comes out of that. So you can come along with me for that in hopefully maybe this week. I don't know, no promises, but it would be nice to get that done soon. I also eventually, not too far from now, come up with a stash dive type video where I can show you everything I have kitted up and ready to possibly start in 2020, because I think it'd be fun to share that with you and make sure I have everything I need for the top contenders in case I need to make any orders before the new year, so to finish kitting things up. So that's kind of what I'm planning to do soon-ish also. And I also want to do more Stitch With Me videos. I've had desire to do them, I've had requests to do them, and no time. So I hope to do those again soon too. I'm just not sure when, but hopefully soonish. I have received questions, comments about like how I hold my fabric, how it's not wrinkled, different stitching technique questions, and I haven't done a Stitch With Me in a while, but I do have them still on my channel. So if you go to my home page of my channel, there's a playlist in there that's like Stitch With Me tutorial demo type. I forget what I called it. I think I called it demo tutorials. And they have various Stitch With Me videos in there. And I call them demo tutorial videos because in each video, I kind of highlight a specific thing. Like some videos, maybe I'm talking about how I do my parking. Some videos I'm talking about how I bead. Some videos I talk about fractionals. Some videos I talk about stitching on floppy linen. So even though it's Stitch With Me style, I do have kind of a focus of one or two methods that I'm kind of demonstrating in that video. So that's why that's titled the way it is. But you feel free to go look at those, and hopefully in the near future I can come up with some more time to make some more of those. And that's that. So Kitty has finally settled down on my lap, so hopefully she can, you know, be restful for a little while and not bothersome to the filmmaking process. But I think that's all the administrative things I wanted to get out of the way at the beginning. One more thing that I keep forgetting to show in the past 2 videos is my daughter's cross-stitching, and she's very sad every time I forget to show it, so I feel really bad. But I've remembered in the editing process, I'm like, oh, I forgot to show that again. So I showed this kit that she started about a month ago, I think 4 videos back, and she had gotten just a couple stitches done in the head of the kitty. And then she took about a week off, didn't work on it at all, and then she worked on it a lot the next 2 weeks. And then this past week hasn't worked on it again in the past week. But this is representing 2 weeks of progress. I ended up putting it on a hoop for her because she seemed to need that tension to be able to find the holes. So this is what it looked like the last time I showed you. And here it is now. I think she's doing really good. She's doing a lot of this all by herself. I'm starting the threads for her and finishing them, but she's doing it herself. She's following the chart. She's excited to highlight the chart when I have okayed a section. She'll do like a row and show it to me, and I'll make sure it's right, and then I'll let her highlight her chart, and she loves it. She's having a blast. She's 6.5, almost 7. She's doing 1 X at a time because I figured that was an easier concept for her to grasp than, you know, half stitch down the row and come back. When she's a little older, I can teach her that method, but for now it is more sense to fill up the block and move on. And so because of that, her X's are not all in the same direction yet. But, you know, that's the way it is. I'm not sure if it's focusing very well. I think it's focusing on me. But anyways, that's cute. It's really cute, and she's really loving this. And we've talked about, and she's really excited about this opportunity too. When she's finished with this, I'm going to get her a pattern that she's going to make a teacher appreciation gift for her teacher for the spring, and she's really excited about that. So I had a quandary with the teacher appreciation gifts I had been wanting to make. Last year the last 2 years, I made one for my daughter's teacher because it was the same teacher that either one or both of my sons had, and I loved them and wanted to give them something as my final child went through, and it was just all perfect. Well, this year, they're switching things up at my daughter's school, and so the teacher that I had hoped she would have for 1st grade, that both of my sons had, she doesn't have. That teacher's still there, and I still love her, but she doesn't have her, and none of my other kids will have her again because she's a 1st grade teacher. And so what I thought I would do is I have a plan to make a pattern for that particular teacher as a thank you for all she's done for our family with my boys. And I'm probably also going to make a present, stitch a present for my son's 4th grade teacher, who my older son had too, because I love her, but now I have, because of the way the school is changing, I have no way of knowing for sure that my daughter will have her either. So by the time she gets to 4th grade. So I'm going to go ahead and make her a gift now. I'm going to make the 1st grade teacher we didn't get a gift now. And then my daughter can make her current 1st grade teacher, who is still a lovely lady, she'll make her a gift for Teacher Appreciation Week that she can stitch herself, which I think is really fun. So she's excited about that. I'm thinking I'll probably let her try 14 count because I have lots of that in my stash, and I should see what she thinks about that. We've sort of settled on a pattern, but it's not 100% sure, so I'll share that when I know for sure and have it in my hot little hands. But I think it'll look good on like an ivory Ada, and I think I have some of that in my stash, so I'll have to look. And it's something that she can just pull from my threads, and it'll be fun. So that's the plan for that. She's doing really well. She's loving it. Hopefully now that I've shared it with you, she'll get the bug again to want to do it again. So maybe I've discouraged her because I keep forgetting to show it. She doesn't want to work on it. So she's also diving in a little bit more into reading independently, which is very good. She's kind of dragged her feet a little bit on that. So I'm not opposed to spending her free time reading instead of cross-stitching. That's also good. So, but if she makes more progress, I will definitely try to remember to show it. I also have finished. If some of you may have seen this on Instagram, this is the Tea and Cakes Sal by Lakeside Needlecraft that was a mystery Sal maybe a couple years ago now. This is what it looked like last week. And here it is finished. I got this Let's Drink Tea stitched up pretty quickly. I think it was like half a week it took me to do that. By Wednesday or Thursday, I had that finished. And then we had fires in our area, and schools were canceled on Friday because portions of our town were being evacuated and the freeways were closed, and it was chaotic. I'm fine. Our part of the town was safe. It smelled smoky on Thursday and Fridays. Thursday, I might put a picture in here that I took driving home from picking up my kids on Thursday of the plume of smoke when the fire first started. And that fire was probably the most problematic one that came down close to the edge of the town. But we're far enough in the middle of town that the fires that come in from the wilderness on the edges are usually not a problem for us. So there is some rugged wilderness area right in the middle of town that if a fire caught right there, then we would be at risk. But usually they start on the edge and then come in, and then it would have to burn through half the town to get to us. So usually we're fine and we don't have to be evacuated, but it is possible at some point. So this is my finish. I wasn't able to stitch on this in the car because there was no school, but I did work on it. Rewind. I finished this before, I think Thursday. I think I finished it Thursday in the valet pickup. Well, not valet, but whatever. At some point. Picking up my son, I think. And then I think I picked up my temperature piece and started working on that at a separate pickup that day, but then I didn't get much more on that until Sunday because of no school on Friday. So my plan going forward now is to do my temperature pieces in the valet pickup area travel stitching for the next week or two at least, until I get caught up and I get all the peripheral things finished. I know last time I had said I was going to switch over to Ink Circle's tapestry. I had forgotten that my original plan was to do my temperature pieces in between Tea and Cakes and tapestry, because I want to try to get 100% caught up on both of them. And now I have a motivational goal to get all the sashing and balloons and clouds finished as well, so that I can start working on the tree trunk from my new one. So I will keep these as a travel piece until I'm caught up on the color blocks and until I'm finished with what I can stitch on the other things. So, and then they'll come back inside and I can pick something else like tapestry for my travel piece. So I will show you where I'm at with those. right now, my balloons is first. I usually do quilt first for some reason, but right now my balloons are in the bag first. So this is what that one looks like. And remember, I have a giveaway happening on my last video. So if you're interested, go back to that one for a PDF copy of my new temperature pattern, the temperature tree, or one of the other temperature ones if you don't like this. I've received so many comments entering the giveaway. I've received so many compliments on this video. I've even received people who bought it already because they can't wait. So it's very heartwarming that all of you are enjoying this because I thought it turned out really nice and I'm excited to stitch it. So I may even bring this into the car and start the trunk as a travel piece instead of tapestry. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see how I feel. But I'm thinking I'll probably stitch this on some light blue even weave, like maybe the stuff from Hobby Lobby, because I think that would look nice with that. But so if you want to enter the giveaway, there's still one more week. I won't draw the names until next week, and probably draw 3 names for that, so a little bit more opportunity to win. But you could also do this one or the flowers or the quilt if you would rather. So anyways, enough chit chat again. This is what the balloons look like last week, and here they are now. Making some good progress. Not 100% cut up right now, but there's a few more blocks here, but I am coming down the to the smaller part of the balloon, so it's starting to decrease. I will also have November in this one, and then December is a tiny balloon all by itself over here. So that's exciting. So when I'm in the car, I can, or visiting, I'm going to talk with my sister later this afternoon. Before I pick up my kids, I'll probably finish up these blocks. I can also, there's a cloud right here. What else is there? Kitty left. There's one more balloon, and there's another cloud over here too. So yeah. So that'll be fun. I'll get some of that stuff worked on and finished up, and that'll look really nice. My quilt is also coming along. Not cut up, but I'm hoping that'll happen before too long because I am making progress on it. And this one is a high-low version. I also have a high-low version of my flowers. The balloons are not high-low, and the tree is also not high-low. I had one question about that. Some of the leaves are a little bit too small, I think, to make into a high-low, so it would have to be a much larger pattern overall to do high-low leaves. And I tried to keep it so that it could fit inside a 12 by 12 frame, which is fairly standard. So that's what that's why I made it the size I did. But so all the leaves are fairly small, which should be nicer to keep up on too, especially since there's so much tree trunk to stitch. So that's my quilt. This is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. Both of these are on 28 count even weave 1/1. And I've made some progress filling in some of October. I might have gotten one length of thread in the sashing, but clearly I need to go, all the way to the bottom still. So one more thing to do in the car. But I like how this is turning out. I'm really excited to get caught up on it. I believe I should be able to get caught up fairly easily because it seems like I have a good amount of time for travel stitching. My travel project always sees a lot of love this year. It's been nice with the arrangement of pickups. It's not excessive waiting, but it is enough significant waiting that I make good progress. So that's that one. Now we can go into all the at-home things I've done this past week and plans for this coming week. Partial plans, actually, so I'll get into that as well. So this past week I started out on Villa Mirabilia, which was a prompt in Enchanted Stitching Challenges on Facebook. We're going through the Nightmare Before Christmas movie in the month of October. So we were supposed to defend our house from Jack's delivering presents. So I said I would surround my house with giant pots of plants. And so I worked on this one and got my 250 stitches, but it took me until Thursday to get all of them finished, all of them stitched. So I had a really slow start to my stitchy week. This is what it looked like last time, and here it is now. Here's all of her, but I haven't worked on her dress in a while. I did all of this darker green, but it took me forever to finish that. And so I've been thinking, oh no, now I'm not going to be able to get all of my other goals for the other 3 prompts finished because it took me a long time to finish the first one. So I was a little discouraged, but I thought, well, never fear, I can always just downgrade to the next level of 50 stitches. The problem with that is the 2 main pieces that I wanted to work on this week were for my daughter, for my son and my niece, and so I was really hoping to get significant progress on them. I guess I'll put that over here while they're out this month, because they may not come out again until next month. Prompts may pull them out sooner, but no guarantees. So I started in on my dragon for my son, Dragon Ride, and did 50 stitches, a little over 50, and posted a picture and claimed the 2 points for like the middle goal for that prompt, and then moved on to the letter H fairy, and then my next one, stitching shelf. And then I realized I think I might still have enough time. I think I had 1 day left on Sunday, wondering if I could do 200 stitches in 1 day, and I wasn't sure, but I figured I would try, and I got it done. So I will show that one at the end because I just finished that one last night. But I got 250 stitches on Villa Mirabilia, the letter H fairy, and Dragon Ride, and a little bit more than my original goal of 100 half stitches on the stitching shelf. So overall, perfect. I did exactly what my goal was, and I'm really happy with that. So I wasn't expecting to get that much done, but it's interesting what a goal will motivate you to do. And the latter part of my week was a little bit more relaxed and had more time to stitch, so that was also really nice. So here's my letter H fairy that I'm stitching as a graduation present for my niece. It'll need to be done this spring. Here it is. This is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. And I'm pretty happy with that. 250 goes a long way. I'm using fancy floss for everything. It's my own conversion though for most things. The greens are actually called for greens. I have just seeing if it'll hold, one medium to dark green, which is all of this. It's all one shade, Desert Mesquite. It goes from this medium dusty green to this darker green. And that's in, throughout here. I think I did that color here and down here and then all in here. I did one strand of this dark gray, which is Old Salem Spell by Victoria and Motto. And then I picked up this lighter green, which is Eve's Leaves, which is the other called for one. And then did that down here as well, and then stopped. I think that's still on my needle, that green, but I got to 250 after that, at that point. So pretty happy with that. This is on 32 count Water Lily Linen by Witchelt, and I'll do all the fairies on this color. So I'm pretty happy. So this, because I was able to get that done, and it made such a nice chunk of progress, I thought, I really want to make sure I can try to go back and do that same amount of progress on my dragon while I have it out. So I'm glad I was able to do that finally. So that's the letter H fairy, and then I went on to my stitching shelf. The H fairy I was doing for a Halloween piece because H is for Halloween and she's dressed up like a fairy. This one I was doing something that reminded me of Zero, Jack's skeleton dog friend, and decided to work on the Labrador right there that I had counted to during Stitch Mania. Oh, and I have this on another piece, so I will leave it here, I guess. So here is this one. And this is what that looked like last time in that area. And here's the dog now. I did one more color throughout the whole dog, and that gave me a little over 200 half stitches, which was, I only needed 100 half stitches to make the 50 stitch goal. So that was a bonus. I wanted to make sure to finish out that color, and so I went ahead and kept going. It didn't get me close enough to the 500 half stitch goal that I would have needed to get the max points. I would have needed to not do any more on my dragon for sure, and I still wasn't necessarily comfortable thinking I'd actually make that goal in the first place. So I decided to stop at this and be happy with that, which I am, and then move on to the dragon to try to get the full 250 stitches on my dragon right. So I thought that was fun. And so this is a really fun one where I can pull it out and work on a particular item as needed. So that's kind of a fun piece in that regard. And then my dragon ride, I'll just leave it in there. This is by Teresa Wensler. I'm doing this for my son. And here it is. This is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. So I had been working on this next gold color right here, and I did just a couple spokes of it. There's half stitches, there's quarter stitches coming all the way down, which count as one because they're just one leg, or I mean count as half. So I had to make sure to count those as half, and these are full crosses, and keep track of all of that. And so I had just done a little bit in here, and then I kept going throughout here, did some talons. I filled in the inside of here with that more of that color. I came down here, did there's some like hair on the back of his leg. There's a claw right there, a claw right there. There's some more claws that are different colors. There's some saddle action happening here, and there was some 1/1 stitching that also used that color. So that all made up the same color, 250 stitches. I have just a little bit of that color left in the saddle area for the most part, I think is where that is. And then my son requested more of this shade that's in his cape. And so there's some of this color that's in blends, like in the wings and things. So when I finish, I like the color completing like I did with this color. So I think when I'm done with this, this color I'm currently working on, I'll go pick a color in this shade and do that everywhere. I'm pretty sure that exact color is not anywhere else in the dragon because it's a solid color and there's only so many solid colors in the two-stranded areas. Most of the two-stranded areas are blends. Although this one I was working on just now was a solid, which was really nice. Loop start, it was great. So that was exciting. I was very happy with how that turned out this week. It went from possibly not working to got all my goals finished. So that was really exciting. Going forward, we have a short week because the challenge only goes through the end of the month. So I don't know what they're going to do for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's only 3 days, so I'm not sure what sort of prompt, if they'll have the same 4 prompts just for 3 days, or if they'll have something unique for the first 3 days. I don't know what movie it's going to be. So that'll be all up in the air and random, and you'll have to find out what that is later on my next video, because I don't know yet. So in the meantime, they still had 4 prompts for the first chunk of this week until Thursday at midnight. So, and for me, it's actually 9 o'clock my time because I'm on the West Coast. And so I actually started working on the first prompt like around 9:30 last night because it was after midnight Eastern time, which is when the challenge starts. So The first one I started working on. Did I put this over here? Yeah. I was able to plug in the Heirloom Nativity Sampler again, which is very exciting. This one, they needed, one of them was for red and white. Can't remember exactly why. Yeah, I don't remember why. Something Christmassy, I'm sure. So this one, the cardinals are red, and there's lots of snow for the white. This guy, I forgot to check. The shepherd looks like he's red, but I'm trying to see what color. If I could do brick red and rose dark. So I don't know. The other one was actually called red. So we'll have to see if I could count either of those. But I know there's a lot of white in there too. So at the very least, I could just do the rest white. I already stitched the red cardinals. And this was on my needle, so I decided to just park it where it starts next to finish this sheepy, because he is not red or white, so I'll have to do him either after the challenge is over or the next time this comes up that's not a color-specific challenge. And I did the little cardinals. And there's a little bit of black for the heads that's still needing to go in there. That I haven't done yet. And then there's lots of white snowflakes, lots of snow in the trees, lots of snow on the ground, so I'm pretty sure I should be able to get the white that I need, because you need to stitch in those colors, either all red, all white, or a combination of both. So I thought, oh, perfect, I can do a combination. And this is like gray of some kind, MCG Textiles linen, that I'm doing for this 32 count. I forgot to say, I always forget to say, my tea and cakes is on 32 count linen, 2/2 with MCG Textiles. It's just white, so just basic. But I figured since it's finished, I should probably make sure I say it at least once. So that's out because I'm still working on that one. And then one of them was Oogie Boogie likes to gamble, and so they said stitch on something that has to do with gambling or something you've taken a gamble on yourself. And so I was thinking about, I was looking at all my charts. I saw my the one I have of a sailing ship, an old-fashioned sailing ship, and I thought, oh, they probably had gambling going on in the lower decks at some point. But then I saw this one. I'm like, oh yeah, people gamble on football games a lot. So I figured I need to work on this eventually. It's not till November technically, but since it's the whole week, I can do it a little bit early. So I'll work on this one for the gambling prompt, because people bet on football games, and get that out of the way for my son's stitching, which should happen on the 2nd, which is Saturday. So I still need to figure out where my husband's piece will go in there, as well as hopefully maybe Villa Mirabilia. So maybe whatever challenges they have for the weekend, I can stitch on those things for. So we'll have to see. This is where Touchdown is right now. It looks like I still have some white on my needle, so I'll finish that up for sure, but then I can do any color I want this time, so I'll probably go and start filling in his jersey. Or do his arm. Or something. I want to maybe start backstitching his head, so I'll do, some of these grays that are to fill that in. This is the same blue linen that my 2 temperature pieces this year are on, and my Dragon Ride, but it always looks washed out. More so, I think, than some of the other pieces because of the colors that are in it, but it's a really nice blue. So this is my Broncos and Raiders conversion, and I think it's coming along. It goes faster. 2/2 always goes faster than it seems like. I expect it to, because it covers more of the material faster than when I'm doing 1/1. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, that went quick. It's all a mental thing. It's the same amount of stitches, but it fills up the fabric quicker, so it makes it go faster. Which is why the large chunks of color on Mirabilias, I think, are so fun, is because I see the grid of the fabric in that hole that's empty, and then when I start filling it in with 2/2 stitches, it fills up a lot faster than I mentally imagining it will, and so it's like, ooh, that's cool. So I think that's why I like filling in chunks on Mirabilia's solid chunks of stitching. So then I had 2 more prompts that are going to be full coverage. So these ones are half stitch projects, so I'll do, my goal will be 100 half stitches on each of these, which I think will be helpful since I don't have quite as much time in the shortened week. The other 2 I'm hoping to get 250 on, but these 2 I'll just go for 100. And the first one is a Stitcher's Retreat, because we're supposed to work on something that I think the prompt was something about frayed, that things were fraying, and so maybe, I don't know, but work on something that's in timeout because you had to frog, because you had to rip out stitches. And so this one is currently in timeout because I need to frog and I don't want to. And I don't know if I will this week, but I will get it out. Out of timeout. I will work on it, possibly in another area. I might go ahead and rip out the stitches that are in error, but I'm not sure. So this is where it is right now. I'm doing a cropped version of this extreme cross country, or so I thought. So I think all of this is wrong, which is a little annoying. That's what you get for not grading it, but most of the time my counting is accurate. I think I'm 1 stitch off. And I don't want to fudge it on something like this because you count off of everything for everything else, and I just want it to be right. So I'll be taking it out, but I'm not sure going forward if I want to continue and stick to my guns on the extreme cross country and finish this color, or if I want to like pick a color in one of their hairs or skin or something. If I want to start in on other sections and other colors, I'm not sure yet. If anyone has an opinion, if I should continue on with the extreme cross country or just start stitching cross country in whatever area I want to, I might take that into consideration. So we'll see. I'll work on this. I won't work on this for a few more days, so I have time to decide. And it might depend on how ambitious I'm feeling at the time. But that one is currently in timeout, so I think it qualifies for needing to be in timeout because something needs to be frogged. So that's that one. And then I also have one more for Jack and Sally Are Simply Meant to Be. So stitch on something that has to do with love. And I immediately thought of this one. And it's been calling to me. I don't think it was on my list of things that I wanted to get to this year. I don't think I've stitched on it yet. This is by the Golden Kite. And I don't have very big start on it at all. But I thought they look like they're in love, right? And speaking of this one, I ordered some fabric on 123 Stitch this weekend. So I'm really excited. It's similarly shaded to this, at least based on what I can tell on the screen. And it's a 28 count even weave, slightly modeled Picture This Plus. First time I've purchased Picture This Plus fabric from at all. So I'm really excited to see it come. So be on the lookout for that fabric. So this one is on 24 count Congress cloth. So it's like a very fine canvas. This is my current start. And there's some browns and like brownie greens and different things in here. And what I had been doing is picking a color in the column and then stitching it as far as it goes. These are half stitches, 2-stranded, 24 count Congress cloth. I don't know if I said that right last time, but so we shall see where this takes me. I don't know. I'm hoping to do 100 half stitches on both of those, which shouldn't take too long, so I'm hoping that I can handle that in this short week. And then we shall see. I don't know what the prompts are going to do and be like for the weekend, so we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I'm excited about that, and hopefully in the near future I can get to the color conversion for the Bloomtopia cell and film that for you. That'll be fun. I'm excited. And I'm excited to just dig into my stash and see what I've got and see what I need and all of that fun stuff. So in the meantime, enjoy what you're stitching and stay safe and happy stitching. Bye.